Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Day 30. Is this 36? It's day 36 of Witcher. So we're pushing DLC content today. We got the ending yesterday of the main game, the base game. It was good. It was good. Feel like we played it pretty well. From what I understand, there are a few different endings you can get. Um, and I'm happy with what our outcome was of the game. We've still got DLC we're pressing. It's fun. We're pushing like 200 hours in the game. It's a lot of content, but it's good, man. It's good. We'll keep going, but not until we get this video gaming news taken care of. Cool. Shout out Samara. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. We got raided right at the beginning of the stream by Samara, our friend. Let me do a quick shout out here. There you go. For anybody that's not familiar with Samara, she has been a longtime friend of our community and is streaming as well. So if you could do me a favor, go check out Samara's channel, throw a follow, show some of that community love. I would very greatly appreciate it. My pleasure, my friend. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it very much. Let's do this. Let's get into this video gaming news stuff, guys. All right. Yeah. So we read about all the Embracer Group got a hold of basically the rights to the majority of all the Lord of the Rings stuff, or the Tolkien stuff. Not all of it. The book rights and stuff like that they don't have, but the majority of the video game world, the entertainment world side of it, Embracer Group has at this point. And Embracer Group is really sweeping up. They're buying up a lot of notable studios, franchises, things like that. Oh, that's a little bit weird. So we're talking, along with this Tolkien stuff, they got hey Devea, what's up, my friend? Oh. I think she was probably just throwing it out to everybody in chat. I think that's what she was probably doing. To everybody in chat or anybody that might see this later, I think that she was just probably throwing that bit of information out there so they might be able to find you as well, Devea. Yeah. So not too long back, Embracer or they agreed to purchase Square Enix's North American development studios, gaming development studios, and also got a hold of the Thief, Deus Ex, and Tomb Raider IPs. Right. Then yesterday they come down, they get a hold of all this Tolkien, the rights to all this Tolkien stuff, and then they also bought some more notable development studios yesterday. So, Embracer is really, really pushing hard, man. They are grabbing a lot of content right now. If you want a more detailed look, I would say check out yesterday's news segment. That would be August 18th edition of Video Gaming News, and you'll get a better look. We go through an entire article talking about what just happened with especially the Embracer Group's purchase and the way they're planning on kind of trying to move forward with all this, the rights to all of the Tolkien media stuff or entertainment stuff. Yeah, she was just shouting out, Mom. Netflix seemingly looking to make cloud gaming part of their. Let's take a look at this. I haven't really heard this about Netflix yet, so let's take a dive into that, see what's going on there. I'm also not going to take a look at this article. We read about this previously. We knew this was coming. Xbox Cloud Gaming is adding mouse and keyboard controls, as they should, rightfully so. It's looking like it is coming very soon. We knew that this was coming. Many platforms, just in the same kind of fashion as we've seen with Steam here lately. Steam just added support for Joy-Cons, right? So you can use your Nintendo Joy-Cons on the Steam platform, right? So most platforms are trying to do everything they can to incorporate compatibility with almost any kind of peripheral device you can think of out there, which just makes sense, right? The more capable and more friendly, I guess, your platform is to the wide variety of devices that are out there. And let's face it, most people out there that are gamers, we have all kinds of different devices, right? So the easier it is for a platform to handle the wide array of devices that most of us have lying around, the more apt we are to gravitate towards using that service if it's something we are potentially interested in, right? Especially something like this, like cloud gaming. Many people love to use keyboard and mouse, yeah? So, um, to have a cloud gaming service that doesn't provide the capability of being able to hook up keyboard and mouse to play with is a bit of an oversight in my opinion, and I'm glad that they're adding this capability. What is the best gaming platform? Well, I mean, I think when you ask that kind of question, you're going to get you're going to get varied answers depending on person to person, right? That's a bit of a subjective kind of answer, right? So people have their preferences, and it's going to vary across. Like, I mean, are we talking about like a cloud service? Are we talking about a console, or I mean, I'll tell you. So I'm traditionally a PC gamer. I don't hate on console or anything. I've always played a lot of console games as well. I like consoles. But I mean, you're going to get into some different kinds of areas when you bring up that kind of question, right? Let me change my camera here. Forgot to do that this morning. I'm feeling a bit. There we go. That's better. That's better. Hey guys, what's up? Hey, it's me. Look. So think the best gaming platform. I mean, you start talking about like there's like the realm of you go. There's always going to be that discussion between like console and PC, right? So then you're talking about Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, right? And that's going to be like one of the main discussions. And then you're talking about, well, is it console versus PC, right? You've always got that kind of war going on. And then if you get specifically into like PC, then you're talking about different kinds of platforms as far as like, Epic Games, Steam, GOG, these service platforms that allow you. They have a store. They also provide you a library, things like that. So it kind of depends, on maybe more specifically what you're asking, but at the same time, just kind of what your preference is. Yeah, I think. Hey, Happy Chef, what's up, buddy? Switch is best, no doubt. Better than high-end PCs. Well, Switch is they really. I will say this. Switch is very, very groundbreaking, right? I love yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that are big Nintendo lovers. Nintendo has been a industry defining corporation for a very long time, and you know the thing about Nintendo is seems like their consoles have kind of been on and off for a while. You know, it was always like regular Nintendo was awesome, Super Nintendo was awesome, 64 was awesome, and then it got a bit like hot and cold. You know, we were talking about like Wii was really cool, and then it was like Wii U was like bleh, right? And it was like a lot of people didn't really gravitate towards the GameCube all that much either. You know, and but the Switch is a killer, man, and what a cool concept, right? I mean, we're talking about a handheld device that the controllers can snap on and off of as well, right? Like, there are a lot of really cool things about the Switch. A handheld device that controllers can snap on and off of. It docks to where it works like a traditional console as well. You know, the Switch is very innovative, and I think really what the Switch had done has made gaming companies and the industry in general realize that there is still a market, a big market for handheld, for gaming on the go. You know, obviously there is because mobile, right? Mobile's a big thing, but as far as like big main like companies doing handheld devices, that hadn't happened in a while. Not for the most part. I mean, there was like PS Vita, and Nintendo's always had like 3DS and stuff like that, but those weren't considered major, you know, consoles, right? Dreamcast got a bad rap. Yeah, you're right, Happy Chef. Yeah. Yep. The memory cards were dope. Yeah. Dude, I still have like PS1 memory cards and stuff. PS1 had the cool little memory cards too, man, that you could clip in and stuff. But I remember Dreamcast's memory cards, and I didn't have a Dreamcast, but I had some friends that did. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I think it just depends. It's a good question, Samara, and I think that just depending on who you ask, it's a bit subjective. You're going to get a different. Yeah, they did. Yep. You're going to get a different... Yo, Gamer, what's up, buddy? Dude, I think they did. Yeah, Happy Chef. I think they did have some mini games on them. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, we might have to research that a little bit. I'd forgotten all about that kind of thing. So, yeah, again, a bit subjective. You're going to get a different kind of response to that kind of question, but I would say that anybody's answer is not necessarily wrong, right? It's just a preferential kind of thing there. You're going to have those people that are fanboys and fangirls, as you will, of certain kinds of platforms and devices, and they're going to go, this is the best, and you know what I mean? So you got to be prepared for that. Yeah, Happy Chef. I kind of vaguely remember that. So, as far as like these cloud gaming platforms, really get it, you know, cloud gaming, these platforms that are offering like, you know, digital libraries and things like that, whether it be Epic or Steam or what have you, adding that, you know, continuing to be compatible with many different devices is just good for us gamers, as well as good for those companies to accept more and more of the devices we have just lying around for all the different kinds of things that we play. You know, it just makes sense. Good question, Samara. Yeah. Yo, hey guys, you want to answer this one? Do video games ever release on time anymore? Like, I'm not gonna pull this up. We talk about this all the time. That's why I'm not gonna pull it up. No. Oh, dude. That I mean,
Tried it.
what's sad about it is that it's almost like a meme nowadays, right? Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's kind of like it's like, oh, you know, um, and if a game does actually release on time without ever being delayed, it's like a huge surprise, right? It's like, oh my god, the game actually released when it was supposed to release. Here's the thing. Again, we talk about this a lot. If a game needs to be delayed, to be polished and feel like a nice experience, rather than come out and feel like a piece of crap that we got jebaited into buying, you know, and make us feel like we wasted our money on, it should be delayed, right? I think the here's some of the main problems that we're running into in the industry nowadays is too many companies are being too forward with release dates, right? I think that's one of the big problems. We keep getting these release dates that nobody can meet anymore, right? So it's like we get to the point now where it just feels like you have to just assume that no date is actually anything that's going to come to fruition, right? It's always going to be something that's going to be delayed. You just have to be under that assumption, which feels bad, you know? And the other issue is that while we're okay with the game being delayed, so it is a better experience, right? It's a more polished gameplay experience. It also can be a huge indicator, I think, of things going wrong within a studio, within the development process. If you you talk about a game, what's the new one coming out by Ubisoft? Is it Black Flag? I'm just gonna give an example here. So, not Black Flag, not Black Flag. The pirate game, Skull and Bones. Excuse me, Skull and Bones. So, Skull and Bones, right? This is a game that is finally, they're saying finally going to release. They had a showcase for it. We watched it here in the channel and everything, right? But we're talking about this game got delayed 6 times in 4 years, right? And what that kind of is an indicator to me is that there's something wrong either within the studio, in the development process itself, somewhere in between all of that, there is something wrong, right? And I think what even makes it worse is when you talk about a studio where you see this consistently happening, that just drives home the fact that there's something wrong. So, I mean, no, most of the time they don't. Most of the time, and I think what it really comes down to is there's an issue of, it's very hard to keep projects under wraps anymore. Studios working on things, it is like near impossible anymore, I think, for studios to not have information get leaked about the titles they're working on. So that makes it hard for them to not put out some kind of date, but I think they need to be more vague about it and just be like, hey, this is probably going to come out at some point in this year or something. Rather than me trying to set these specific dates where it's not really, there's not much potential they're actually going to hit it anymore. That's just the way it feels, anyways. That's my take. We talk about it a lot, but because this came up, that's just, I felt like it was pertinent to go ahead and hit on it. Starfield is going to Gamescom, but not with new gameplay. So we'll pull this up, but it looks like Starfield is going to show up at Gamescom, but not with anything new potentially. Okay. Doom 64 is available for free on the Epic Game Store, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Am I logged into Epic? No. One second. Take a look at this. Just a moment. All right, gamer, here we go, buddy. This is what we were talking about, right? So, Epic almost always gives a free game away, right? Almost always. I can't remember a time they didn't give a free game away. Even if it is something. Doom 64 is a classic, guys. This is a classic. So, for basically the past like week, it had only come out that Rumbleverse on Epic had like a free pack coming out. There was no free game announced or anything. And I was just kind of telling everybody to just be patient because quite often this will happen. They give away a free game literally every single week. Quite often what they'll do is they'll match it up with like some free content in some kind of game, you know, something like that. But they won't always announce everything they're giving away almost until that week is coming to, right? So here it is. As I said, Doom 64 is the free game this week, and you can get some Rumbleverse free like cosmetic stuff, okay? So Doom 64, classic title, and Rumbleverse, all right? You get some Rumbleverse cosmetic stuff for the game. Yo, random mode time. Let's go. My avatar. That's literally a picture of me, by the way. So, you know, no big deal. Looking good. All right, let's get back in it. So I won't pull this up, but that's what this is going to be talking about. Well, I'm sure we'll see within the next couple of. Wait, did it actually? Okay, Ring of Pain. Ring of Pain is going to be the next free game starting on August 25th. Okay, so that's what we got coming up. There could be something else, but as of now, this is all they're announcing, right? Again, as you get closer to August 25th, they could announce maybe one other thing, but this is what we got so far. Happy. Makes you think that execs are setting the deadlines with little to no idea of rising complications that come with coding as the technology engines progress. Yeah, I mean, I mean, any kind of, I mean, that's one of the critical aspects of, you know, that's just planning, right? That is the whole, whether it be in game development or that's project management, the planning, the development of the entire project, and whether it be in gaming or any other industry, there's, you know, first and foremost, you have to understand that things are not always going to be smooth, right? There's going to be occasions where things don't quite hit the projected dates. And you have to, some things are going to maybe end earlier, some things are going to end later. You have to remain agile, and you have to understand that those dates are kind of, you know, tentative, right? You want to hit those dates, absolutely, but you have to be prepared for the fact that that is just not always realistic, right? And I think again that you're probably right. I don't think it's just the code. There's so much, dude. There's so much that goes into game development nowadays, especially in these big, massive, you know, open world type games, things like that, that can throw wrenches into the process and require them to go back and kind of break stuff down and redo, you know, massive parts of the game, stuff like, who knows? You know, I mean, there are all kinds of things that could come up that would require them to have to extend. I think the main thing is they need to quit trying to put out these dates that we all see as specifics, right? and just give generalities more like it could be coming out this year. Not it will come out in February of 2023. You know, it's not, that's like, they need to stop doing that. I think that's the thing. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. PC Game Pass adds 2 Elder Scrolls games. Let's take a look. Looks like High on Life has been delayed. That's like, it's crazy. I mean, the gaming delays are like half of what takes up the news segments anymore. You know, I mean, that's just what it is. Sunsoft is back to remind fans of its NES glory days. Okay. Bitwave Games to bring Toplin's Zeroing and more. See what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you're far off there. Yo, Super Donut. What's up, dude? Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, I'm excited to go see family. I'm not excited for not streaming, dude. I have not taken this amount of time off from streaming since I started. So, that feels bad. I don't like that. I don't like taking time off, man. And, so I'm excited to see family. Some family. I'm excited to see family. I'm not excited to be going where I'm going. I'm not excited to be going home, really, dude. It's a weird place for me, dude. It's not. It gives me a bit of the willies, dude. It's not a comfortable spot for me. And but I am excited to be going home and seeing family. Yeah. Not excited for the drive. Not excited for the drive. So there's excitement and there's like dread along with it. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we've done, dude. We've done a lot, and this isn't like close to the longest we've ever done, but it's a good 9-hour trek, roughly. So, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Yeah. That's not that bad, dude. Like one way, yes. I've done like 35 straight before. You know, well, I did 35 straight with my father-in-law. Yeah. Yeah, in a big U-Haul. Yeah, that one was not fun, but we did that. Yeah, that was not fun. But I mean, where we were living before we lived where we live now, where we were living previously, we were actually to see the wife's side of the family, we were doing like 21, 22-hour drive straight to see family. Yeah. So, uh that being considering that 9 hours isn't too bad. So I don't know, dude. I don't like doing them. But I've done plenty of them. So it's like, it's whatever. I don't dig it, man. But I'll make it work. The wife has already bought a bunch of like snacks and stuff for me to munch on while I'm driving there and everything. So We're ready. We're getting ready to roll, man. I got to spend time this weekend getting packed and stuff. But yeah, yeah. Excitement and dread, dude. It's a mix. No Teddy Grahams, dude. We got like I'm gonna be making a big batch of Chex Mix to take. Got like some Twizzlers, uh, some gummies. I love gummy stuff, dude. Teddy Grahams, your go to, dude. Those are one of my wife's. My wife loves Teddy Grahams, but she can't eat wheat anymore. Yeah, yeah, we make homemade Chex Mix, man. It's like an old family recipe. Lots of like, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get made fun of, like Worcestershire sauce. Be easy on me, chat. All right. Yeah, yeah. She has become gluten intolerant. Yeah, so it's can't eat wheat, dude. So no more Teddy Grahams, man. Yeah, feels rough. But yeah, we're getting ready to go, man. I got to spend some time this weekend, really getting ready to get packed up and stuff, though. Best pronunciation I've heard. I don't know about that. I think there's probably some other people that would be like, "Oh, that was terrible." uh, Chat. Anybody in chat want to comment there? Uh, Diablo 4's monetization won't have pay to win microtransactions. We'll take a look at that. How are you, Super Donut? Did you work last night, man? Thanks for asking about the trip and everything, dude. Yeah. I think the worst part about it's just the stream being down. I'm not excited about that. Konami to focus on new games and Synchros development. Let's take a look at that. Multiversus may have scrapped the Lord of the Rings content, probably because Embracer just got a hold of all the rights. Maybe. We'll see. Amgood did not work. School started. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. How's that? How's that? Humble Games releases gameplay overview trailer for Midnight Fight Express. Take a look. Okay, let's pivot here. Talked about that. Oh, for real, dude. Going part time, work part time, stressful. Going, yeah, dude. I know, I know. I recall, vividly recall, dude. The going back to school stuff, dude. For me, it was like whenever so I tried college right out of high school. I was not ready for it, man. I was not mature enough. I was not in the right mindset. I embarked on some career stuff instead. And then a little bit later, I went back to school. And whenever I went back to school, I was going like full time night classes, and I was going almost always full time summer as well. So I wasn't taking any time off. It was like full time all the time, if not over full time, and just trying to get it taken care of. Oh, bro. And I'm not a fan of school, man. I mean, I did pretty well. I was like, um, very close to a 4 point, and but God, dude, I hated it. I hated it so much. I am, and I even had like some like my advisor was one of my main professors, and I had a couple of other professors that were like, you know, you should stick around and get your master's, and I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm done, dude. I don't like school is just not for me, dude. The thing that always kind of is wild about me too is like the way I see it is, and I've had so many different careers, and I've done a lot of schooling. I have an associate's, I have a bachelor's, um, and most of what you learn is through work experience, in my opinion. You learn an amount through text and through schooling and everything, but a lot of what you're going to learn about, whatever career you decide to embark on and be a part of, you learn from actual experience in that career field. um so I don't know. It's not that it's not that I find education bad. It's also, I think, part of my thing is I have come across so many people in the world that are really, really intelligent when it comes to like books. They can read and regurgitate anything, but do they have no kind of common sense or like just life smarts about them at all? They've got PhDs. You've got to like they've got doctor in front of their name, but they are only smart when it comes to like books and the things that they've learned in education. When it comes to anything else, like in the workplace, I've had to deal with these kind of people. They made no sense at all. It was ridiculous trying to deal with some of these kind of. So I think there's something to be said for obviously education is good. There's something to be said for education, but there a lot of what you learn, man, is just being in the trenches of doing that career that you're going to be doing and dude, common sense goes a long ways as far as I'm concerned. Having somebody that can just put some like common sense into what they do on a day to day basis goes a long ways with me, man. That's actually really smart. That's really smart, man. That's really smart. Great for and other Bethesda video games come to Microsoft. What? We'll see what that is. Oh yeah, this is what it is. So I kind of called it where the article we pulled up talking about multiverses is no longer going to be able to incorporate Lord of the Rings characters. It's because of Embracer's purchase of the Lord of the Rings video game rights that happened yesterday. Yeah, dude, I think that's an incredibly, incredibly smart thing. Um, you're still gonna get it, right? But there's definitely something. And look, there's such a thing in life as like good and bad stress, like you know what I mean. But I feel like quite often in today's world, much of what happens to people revolves around bad stressors, and it is definitely not good for people's mental health. And I definitely think that to the greatest extent possible, people need to take into their own hands to the greatest extent possible their mental well-being, um, to the greatest extent. Just really take that into their own hands and make sure that that is like a priority in their life. Um, it can be a catastrophic thing to just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and let stressors and anxiety and pressure and things like that till you end up at a breaking point, and that's just not good. So that's a very smart thing, man. It really is. Looks like Singapore is going to regulate loot boxes in online video games. Looks like we're about to hit the final Call of Duty Vanguard and Warzone Season 2, or as well. I'm not going to dive into this, but just know that that's happening. Final stand on August 24th. So we're talking about 5 more days here. The last season will be coming up for those games. Yeah. We read about that yesterday. Again, I was kind of telling everybody, we took a look at an article yesterday about Embracer's making big moves, dude. Big moves. From their purchase of the North American Square Enix development studios and the IPs that came along with that, talking about mainly Deus Ex and Tomb Raider, and that hasn't come to fruition yet, but it will very soon. All the way through, they made some notable acquisitions of studios yesterday, along with the Lord of the Rings rights they got yesterday. They're making big moves, man. I don't recall whether they got the rights. I think there was talk about it, but I don't know that I don't know that they got the Avengers. We can look it up. I don't know that they got the Avengers rights. Did they? We can take it. We can take a look at it. I'll pull it up. Looks like there's another Vampire Survivors update. I'm not going to dive into this, but this game is amazing. If you've not played Vampire Survivors, I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. Like just a cool, chill little auto shooter game. Roguelike esque, lots of unlocks, and it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. And they just, it's a single developer, or at least it was. I think it probably still is. And this individual or the developer, just keeps adding new content to the game that I think people are pretty satisfied with. So, good on them, man. Indie devs. Love our indie devs. Sony accused of blocking another hit on a Game Pass. Let's see if we've heard about that yet. Looks like Elden Ring is up to selling 16.6 million copies worldwide in roughly 6 months. It's a lot. Is anybody even actually playing Marvel's Avengers? Confirms addition of fan favorite playable character. Let's take a look. Next Need for Speed sounds like Mario Kart. Dude, we got a lot of articles this morning. Hyena's gameplay leaks online. Let's stick with this. We got a lot of articles this morning. Let's take a look. PC Game Pass adds 2 Elder Scrolls games and more Bethesda titles. Some older Quake and Wolfenstein games have also been added. Six Bethesda games have been added to the PC Game Pass, including older titles from the studio's Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, and Quake franchises. As of yesterday, the following 6 games are available to PC Game Pass subscribers. Elder Scrolls Legend Battlespire, excuse me, Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, Wolfenstein 3D, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Quake 4, Quake Champions. Additionally, anyone who pays for the Game Pass Ultimate subscription tier will have every champion unlocked in Quake Champions. Back in April, Redguard and Battlespire arrived on Steam for the first time, along with several other older titles. While Battlespire launched in 97 and Redguard in 98, their addition to PC Game Pass will give Elder Scrolls fans something to play while waiting for Elder Scrolls 6 for the next 2.5 to 3 years. I don't think we're close to Elder Scrolls 6, guys. The follow-up Skyrim was teased in June 2018, but nothing else has been shared since then. As of January 2022, the Elder Scrolls 6 is reportedly still in pre-production, suggesting Bethesda's next fantasy title is still several years away. At the time, Bethesda employees' LinkedIn page shared that Starfield was currently the only game in full production at the company, though it's unclear if Starfield's delay to 2023 will affect the Elder Scrolls 6 production schedule. Probably. Beyond Bethesda's latest additions to PC Game Pass, Xbox recently outlined what else is coming to the subscription service this month. Some of August's highlights include Coffee Talk, Immortality, and Immortals Phoenix Rising, which joined several titles, including Two Point Campus, that were added to Game Pass earlier in the month. Okay. This, we actually, stop. If you have not seen the trailer for this game, it looks hilarious. Appropriately, since it's coming from the creator of Rick and Morty, right? Maybe you're not a fan. I thought Rick and Morty was hilarious. Basically, all your guns are like sentient. They like talk to you, like comment on what's going on, and it's pretty wild. I mean, look at this screenshot. It's just absolute madness. The first I had seen of this was during the June video game show, like the summer showcases that happened. We watched a lot of stuff. This came out. It looks really, really good. But it looks like it's being delayed to December from October. Again, this is like fine, delay if it needs to delay, but I think rather than go 2 months out and then get close, then October comes and they go, okay, we need 2 more months. Then December comes and go, okay, now it'll be middle of, this is, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we see it happen a lot, right? So why not just go, we need more time to make sure that, and we do see this happen occasionally still, where a game will go, we're not ready. Sorry, we're not ready. We are going to go ahead and push this out for a release date of the first quarter of 2023, okay? Expect it sometime then. That way it gives them a bit of a buffer zone for a release date rather than going, it's going to be this month, okay? And then they end up having to delay again and we're going, okay, man, it's just going to continually be delayed. That's the way it feels, High on Life, the zany-looking shooter coming to Xbox and PC later this year, is now due out a little laterer. It is now due out a little laterer in the year, December 13th to be exact. Squanch Games, the studio fronted by Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland, had originally set an October 2022 launch window for High on Life, which means this delay moves its release back roughly 6 weeks. It sounds like a little more time is needed for polish. We have good news and bad news. Feel free to choose the option you prefer to read first. We won't meddle with your free will, reads an update shared to the game's official Twitter account. The good news, High on Life is still coming in 2022. Maybe. Squanch Games is working hard towards developing the best game experience to hit your screens, and a little extra time to squash some bugs never hurts. See, you can't confirm that, man. You've already delayed once. You can't confirm, that you're going to hit that next date either. As you might expect from a game coming from Roiland, High on Life looks to be jam-packed with absurdist comedy, big sci-fi ideas, molded around what appears to be a first-person shooter framework with elements of Metroidvanias. You'll play as an intergalactic bounty hunter on a mission to take down an alien cartel using human life energy to get high. The announcement trailer kind of looked like Psychonauts on psychedelics. It did look hilarious. And I'm excited about the possibility of what this game is going to offer us, but the trends around delays in the industry are just absolutely killing me, man. Sunsoft is back to remind fans of its NES glory days. After a long period out of the public eye in North America, Sunsoft is returning to publish 3 new games based on its classic games catalog. All right, buddy. Yo, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, get some rest. Get some rest. Thanks, man. A classic NES. They include Icky Unite, a multiplayer co-op roguelike, the return of Gimmick, a classic NES platformer, and Euphoria, a Metroidvania expected to hit consoles in 2023. The release are part of a new strategy by Sunsoft, which will see it lean on its large catalog of classic games to capitalize on the popularity of retro gaming. The revival of original game porting to game consoles is a big part of our strategy, Sunsoft's general manager Yuichi Ochi tells IGN. We have a plan to bring our original title to current consoles, 2 or 3 titles a year. The most notable of them is Icky Unite, a new game based on the Kusogi, or crap game that once sold more than 500,000 units in Japan. Sunsoft is now also releasing a port of Gimmick on Switch, PS4, and Steam later this year, with a Euphoria port to follow in 2023. In making a renewed push in the West, Sunsoft hopes to lean on its nostalgic appeal. However, Ochi says that the company also plans to develop new IP. I think for me, the original titles are not enough. We will have new IP, brand new titles in the future, Ochi says. Sunsoft isn't the only retro company digging into its history. Atari is likewise attempting to make a comeback by pivoting towards retro-styled updates like Gravatar, Recharged, and Combinera, the latter of which is its first new game in years. Ochi, meanwhile, says that the new push behind Sunsoft's game division is a big part of Sun Corporation's strategy going forward, meaning this could be just the beginning. We'll be able to see it for ourselves when Icky Unite's closed beta launches on Steam soon. Okay. Cool. Bitwave Games to bring a TOA plans, zeroing and more to PC. 4 classic shoot-'em-ups are coming to PC this year. Bitwave Games has announced that it's bringing a number of shoot-'em-ups from classic Japanese developer TOA Plan to PC. The first PC release of these arcade games was announced today, August 18th, with each also coming with a number of quality of life improvements alongside the basic ports themselves. To start with, 4 TOA Plan games will be coming to PC either in a bundle or as individual purchases, including Truxton, Twin Cobra, Outzone, and Zero Wing. Zero Wing is the most famous of the 4, yep. After the intro cutscene to the game was rediscovered, birthing the "all your base are belong to us" meme, thanks to the game's translation, it is supposed to say all of your bases are now under our control instead. Each of our 4 games will come with new features as well, like the ability to rewind the game, achievements, online leaderboard, sidebar indicators, enhanced graphics, and brand new very easy mode. Both Zero Wing and Outzone currently have Steam pages too, with each also set to have a split-screen co-op mode as well. The collection of 4 initial games has no set release date on PC as of yet. Apart from a broad window of 2022, more TOA Plan games will come at a later date. With around 30 games under its belt between 1984 and 1994, there are a large number of TOA Plan games that Bitwave could bring over to the PC. Okay, cool. We got retro games coming, man. Let's talk about this title. How much does it suck that Blizzard actually even has to say this? You know what I mean? This is my issue. Don't worry, guys. I mean, they make it, they try, it's like, we shouldn't have to. You know, we shouldn't have to. Yet, here we are. And, don't worry, Diablo 4 won't be pay to win, Blizzard says. That feels so incredibly bad. For me, somebody that grew up absolutely just immersed and in love with this developer and its games, to have to read things like this just hurts. And the fact that they have to come out and state things like this is crushing. Blizzard's hotly anticipated upcoming game, Diablo 4, which is projected to release sometime next year, will have no pay-to-win mechanics and only cosmetic items will be available in its in-game store, the company announced Thursday. The development team went into further detail about Diablo 4's planned monetization model, along with the Season Pass system, design philosophy, and live events in its third Diablo 4 quarterly update of 2022. Diablo 4's in-game store, referred to simply as the shop, will feature a variety of alternative appearance skins or transmogs for armor and weapons. Players will be able to use individual transmog pieces from an armor set to create a personalized look for their characters, similar to World of Warcraft's transmogrification system. Transmogs can be purchased using Diablo 4's premium currency, which can be bought using real-world dollars or earned through grinding the game's Season Pass for rewards. Blizzard Entertainment Senior Director of Global PR, Christy confirmed all purchasable in-game items are purely superficial, won't confer any gameplay advantages. Purchased items are cosmetic only, wrote in an email to the Washington Post. Cosmetics do not impact gameplay, therefore players cannot pay for power. Diablo 4's director of product, Keegan Clark, described the store as optional, emphasizing the coolest transmogs in the game won't be locked behind a paywall. The gear players earn through in-game drops will be of the highest visual quality. Best-looking cosmetics aren't exclusive to the shop, Clark wrote in the Diablo 4 quarterly update. Yeah, we'll see about that. There are incredible pieces, unique and legendary quality items for players to find without ever going to the shop. Yeah, we'll see. The shop offers more diversity of choices, not systematically better choices. Yeah, we'll see. Clark also mentioned the Diablo 4 team will be continuously engaging with players for feedback on the shop and the Season Pass. All in all, this is a remarkably different monetization model from the latest Diablo title, the mobile game. I mean, considering what they did with Diablo Immortal, can't they just make this a traditional Diablo game that doesn't have any kind of crap in it? Since people are paying for the game up front, can't they just make it a traditional Diablo game? Did they not get enough out of Diablo Immortal with the scummy mechanics they put in that to just go ahead and make Diablo 4 a traditional Diablo game that you just pay up front for and don't have to, The end game of every Diablo title has always been about optimizing your character as much as possible by grinding for the best gear. Diablo Immortal continues this tradition, but unlike previous Diablo titles, maxing out your character will require some very expensive microtransactions. A breakdown by the game news outlet Rock Paper Shotgun estimates the cost of decking out a character with the best gear to be around $51,000 US. One Diablo Immortal player dropped $100,000 on a character and was subsequently locked out of the game's PvP queue. Diablo Immortal's monetization has been a black eye on what is otherwise a fun game, and it's prompted concerns about what to expect of the franchise's next entry, and I would say its games moving forward. This approach with Diablo 4 seems to be a course correction and an olive branch to fans. Is it? Even as parent company Activision Blizzard used the game to argue against a unionization vote at its Blizzard Albany studio. During a hearing with the National Labor Relations Board, lawyers representing Activision Blizzard presented extensive documentation and assets from Diablo 4's development, a move that Blizzard Albany workers took issue with since the workers themselves cannot update their own portfolios for a job hunt until a game is finished and shipped. The lawyers also shared the names of quality assurance testers working on Diablo 4, along with their respective cover letters, social media accounts, and LinkedIn profiles, which workers feared might invite harassment from the public. For reasons unclear, Activision Blizzard's lawyers argued that Blizzard Albany employees working on World of Warcraft or Overwatch should not get to vote in union elections, while conceding that employees working on Diablo games are entitled to suffrage. Man, this company, dude. What a just scumbox. Yuck, dude. Konami to focus on new games and Synchros developments at its October G2E showcase in Las Vegas. Manufacturer of slot... Oh, dude. Yeah. I keep forgetting that Konami does a bunch of, like... gambling machines and stuff. We're not looking at that. Multiverses may have scrapped Lord of the Rings content, and we know why. Multiverses may have scrapped content related to Lord of the Rings, and some recent leaks are to be believed. Multiverses is one of the biggest fighting games in recent memory, and that's largely because of the wide array of characters in the game. Although Smash Brothers brings together some of the best characters in gaming, Multiverses brings together the best characters in the entire entertainment industry. The game leverages the massive roster of Warner Brothers IP and has characters like Batman, Superman, Shaggy, and more, all duke it out until there is only one person or team standing at the end of a match. The roster is still growing with characters like Black Adam coming soon, but it seems like some characters may have been cut. Data miners and leakers in the Multiverses community have begun noticing that any mentions of Lord of the Rings content has continued to get stripped from the game's files. Some suspected that this could mean the content is just shelved for the time being, but now there's speculation that it has been removed entirely. Earlier this week, Embracer Group made the surprise announcement that it was acquiring the IP rights to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. This was a rather sudden move and also pretty historic given the Saul Zentz company has held the rights to these franchises since 1976. New Line Cinema, a company owned by Warner Brothers, was one of the production companies on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films, and WB went on to publish a number of games based on the property. Possible the new acquisition could create problems for Warner Brothers' hold on the Lord of the Rings IP. Of course, maybe the two parties will come to a new agreement in the future. As of right now, there's no telling if Lord of the Rings content will come to Multiverses, but the timing is certainly interesting, yes. We had seen some leaked stuff, again, over the past week, about a week ago, about maybe like Gandalf, a couple of other notable Lord of the Rings characters coming to Multiverses. And with Embracer Group getting the rights, buying the rights to that content, I think it's pretty safe to say that that's probably not going to happen moving forward. There's a lot of content there I didn't read from, like just some social media stuff that got posted and everything. So if you want to take a look, here it is. Humble Games releases gameplay overview trailer for upcoming title Midnight Fight Express. Only days away from launch on August 23rd. And Humble Games and Jacob Dwinzel. Thanks, buddy. Yo, Size, thanks, man. What's up, dude? That raid, man. Size with the raid. What's up, buddy? How's your day going? Only days away from launch on... yeah, I know. Oh, well, I've got, like... I don't always have time to work on stream stuff. I just don't. Like, I stream so long every day that I have specific times where, you know, I get time to actually sit down. Specific days where I get to sit down and actually work on things like that. And I just haven't had time yet. Wick, dude. Wick. Yeah. Thanks for the raid, buddy. Thank you. Yeah. Wick, what's up, man? Only days away from launch on August 23rd, and Humble Games and Jacob Zwinel have released a brand new gameplay overview trailer for Midnight Fight Express, showing fans exactly what they'll be getting into with the Ultimate Brawler. Get hyped and check it out here. In Midnight Fight Express, users play as Babyface, a former member of the criminal underworld lured back into their life by a mysterious AI drone. Fueled by vengeance from a lost past, players must fight their way across the city before sunrise and prevent a citywide criminal takeover. Okay, launching on August 23rd for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Look at you. A lean,
I think we saw some of this during the June showcases as well.
They're quaking in their boots, battening down the hatches, praying, hoping they're not the next ones whose doorstep you'll darken. Not a single one of them is safe. Tonight, we wash this whole damn city down. Seems like just a few hours ago, you were another casualty of the city of tomorrow. Noggin bled dry, no purpose, no memory.
Look how much iron that dude's pumping. Good night.
But it didn't take long to get you back up to speed. Had to walk before you could run, though. The basics were easy to remember. Getting in close, quick flurries, hail of bare knuckles. Then you remembered how to parry, counter, use the momentum against them. When the competition stepped it up,
this looks pretty cool, man.
Tore through the defenses,
this looks pretty cool.
Heavy strikes, like a knife through hot butter. Then I saw you get mad. For the first time in a long time. Let your rage boil over. You moved faster, hit harder, leveled the room before they could land a single blow. And when the scum upped the ante, you were ready for it. Used everything that wasn't nailed down as a weapon. You started to sharpen your skills. Learned how to focus when the odds were stacked against you. You were kicking ass and doing it in style. As your rep grew, you started stacking chips, fitted yourself out in all the best gear. The skills,
nice.
The upgrades. It all came back to you.
Oh, that's cool, dude. They got an entire skill system and everything.
Moves, added a few new flourishes to your repertoire.
Get over here! Dude, that was a scorpion move.
And built an art of war unique to yourself. Just when you were feeling like you had it all figured out, you started reaching for new challenges. Put in the repetitions to truly master your craft. Yeah, you got your ass handed to you a couple times. But you always went back to the dojo. Got better. Got deadlier.
Dude, it looks like you can get a lot of the moves unlocked and everything, too.
God knows I owe it to you. To this city. But that was then. This is now. We got the big guy against the ropes. Cleaned up the city from the sewers.
Did that dude just run out there with a couple of pillows?
Everywhere in between. Nobody's safe from our vengeance.
Oh, man.
So what are you waiting for, partner? Let's get out there and finish what we started.
Yo, that actually looks really, really cool. Yeah, we actually read about this. Like, Arcade 1-Up is bringing Blitz back. But you can't do, like, late hits or anything. Like, the NFL was like, yeah, we'll let you publish the game again. We'll let you do the game again. Put it back on, like, some arcade cabinets and everything. But basically, you got to make it, like, chill. That sucks. Well, I appreciate that input size. I've thought about the same thing, and I've done some music stuff before. I think where it gets rough for me with the news segment stuff, man, is like, especially. Yo, Bean, what's up, buddy? I appreciate that input, Signs. I've tried music stuff before. I don't enjoy. I understand that, you know, if I'm not saying something for a moment, it's silence, right? But at the same time, I do talk almost through the entire news segment, so there are going to be sporadic moments where there's going to be just a moment of silence while I'm looking at stuff or we're bringing up articles, things like that. But where it gets really bad is when I am talking and there's stuff like that going on, or we're watching trailers, things like, because we watch trailers a lot, and there's music going on in the trailers, and then there's music going on in the background of the channel, you know, and maybe I just need to try to set it up to where I can, you know, get different audio going on different channels so I can mute stuff out. But that just adds to all the different things that I'm having to try to adjust as I'm going through this news segment and work with and things like that. And I just don't have it set up in that fashion right now. You know what I mean? So, in regards to that, it's, there are two different sides to it, right? Where, yeah, it might be nice to have a little bit of like some non-copyright kind of music. Here's the other thing. There have been a lot of people that have gotten in trouble and gotten their channels in trouble. Even though music was supposed to be not copyrighted, they've still gotten their channels banned and everything because non-copyright music channels have had copyright music show up on it, you know? So there's things to take into consideration. I appreciate I'm always looking for feedback, and I'll take it into consideration. I've thought about it more moving forward on my own in respect to that, and I'll see. It's just one of those things where it's like we move through stuff so quick in the news segment that I don't know that, you know, I want to be dealing with like turning music off so we can watch trailer, then turning it back on and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of want to keep pushing through content. You know what I mean? This whole Blitz thing was really weird, though. Humble, this game looks really cool, man. I would really like to try this out. I'll probably wishlist it. Quake 4 and other Bethesda video games. Let me say this. I am always open to feedback about the channel, what maybe should not be done. What I will say is that in the Discord channel, or in the Discord server, we do have a channel set up specifically for suggestions. That is the best place to put that kind of stuff for this community and this channel, because it is a permanent spot, whereas chat, you know what I mean? Things end up going away. It's, you know, it can end up being lost on me because I stream for 8 to 9 hours a day. So if there's any kind of suggestions, constructive criticism, what have you, about maybe what we can do implementing for the channel, what could be done better, I am always open to that kind of information, suggestions. But I would prefer for it to be entered into our Discord channel, suggestions channel, as a permanent place for me to go take a look and discuss as a community and myself for implementation. That way it's not lost in just, you know, live chat. Quake 4 and other Bethesda video games come to Microsoft's PC Game Pass. Bean, what's up? How are you, man? Quake 4, the Elder Scrolls Legend, Battlespire, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the Elder Scrolls Adventures, Redguard, and Wolfenstein 3D are now available to download and play on Windows PC for all gamers with an active PC Game Pass subscription. All 5 Bethesda video games were revealed as being added to Microsoft's PC game subscription service this week during QuakeCon, a Bethesda-run event for fans of the company's Quake series and various other franchises. As an additional bonus, all PC Game Pass subscribers can also today claim the Quake Champions Pack downloadable content for the Quake Champions video game. Noted that while all of these titles are available in most regions, Return to Castle Wolfenstein Quake 4 and Wolfenstein 3D are unavailable in the Microsoft Store in Germany. This is likely due to the game's use of Nazi imagery and themes which are heavily censored in the country. Right. Okay. So, Quake 4, Elder Scrolls Legend Battle. Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but you can download and play these on Windows on Game Pass at this point right now, if you're interested. I'm good, buddy. I'm good, man. Yep. Just, doing the thing, man. Getting prepared to take about a week off from streaming and do a bit of a trek to my home roots area and see family and stuff, man. And I'm excited, but I'm also just dreading it a bit. I don't know. It's really, I'm going back for a wedding. I've got a niece of mine that's getting married, and so that's cool. Going to see her and be at the wedding and everything, and that's neat. It's going to be good to see family, but that's about the gist of it. I don't like home. I don't like where I'm from. So going back there is a bit weird for me. And, seeing family is the best part. I got to drive 9 hours each way. So 2 of the days are basically lost. Just driving. So I don't know, man. Yeah. That's, the main reason for going back. And I'm just taking a little bit of extended time. Miso, what's up, buddy? Just taking some extended time to get back there and spend with the family and everything, makes sense. If I'm going to be back there anyways, we haven't been back in quite a while. So going back to just hang and chill, see family. Because, I haven't seen my parents, my sisters, siblings, I haven't seen them in a while. So if we're going to be back, might as well stay there and hang out for a bit. So it's exciting, but there's an amount of dread too. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm not looking forward to the driving. Singapore has introduced a new central body that will monitor a wide range of gambling services, including loot boxes and online video games. The recently inaugurated central body will track the latest trends worldwide. Notably, it will be able to counter upcoming gambling products more confidently. The central body is called GRA, Gambling Regulatory Authority. The GRA will regulate gambling services accessible in lotteries and casinos. Also, it will monitor gambling services like sports betting as well as loot boxes that appear in online video games. The GRA's entry will fortify the line between gambling and gaming. Video and mobile games have been drawing flack for promoting violence and gambling lately. The trip, so stream will be down for the first day next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday. So, the plan right now is the channel will be down like the 24th through the 30th. So, a solid week. I'm looking at maybe trying to just get some rerun stuff set up though. At least just so if anybody wants to hang out and watch some previous gameplay stuff or whatever, I'll just throw some reruns on or whatever. But I don't know. But that's, it won't be live. I won't be live for an entire week. 24th through the 30th. I'll put it out there on Discord and Twitter and stuff. The Tweeterverse. I'll put it out there this weekend. And right before I leave too. Again. The GRA will regulate gambling services accessible in lotteries and casinos, monitor gambling services like sports betting as well as loot boxes that appear in online video games. GRA's entry will fortify the line between gambling and gaming. Video and mobile games have been drawing flack for promoting violence and gambling lately. Why did this... I would really love this to be able to... Just... There. That works. Trying to avoid doing work while at work. That sounds perfect. To recap, Indian government has banned BGMI again without disclosing any reason. The game's predecessor, PUBG, was banned in the country in 2020 in a bid to protect user data. Now, Singapore is gearing up to regulate online gaming. The GRA will replace the Casino Regulatory Authority, as per a report by the Straits Times. Singapore's second minister for Home Affairs, Josephine Teo, claims this is an important step for gambling regulation. Moreover, Teo pointed out that the landscape will not be the same in 5 years, so the formation of the GRA will bolster gaming regulation in the country. Further, Teo noted that people can gamble anytime and anywhere due to technological advancements. As a result, online gambling has more room to maneuver and grow. Also, she confirmed that there will be a price gap of SGD 100 on mystery boxes. This capping could come into effect in Singapore by 2023. To recap, this capping system is an original idea of the MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. Singapore is aiming to block the inducement effect of exclusive items through the cap. Also, the cap will stop gambling from gaining popularity among youth. It will be interesting to see if the move helps Singapore prevent gambling from tightening its grip in the country. Also, regulating loot boxes in online video games could have an undesirable effect. This is just another country, man, that is trying to buckle down on some of this stuff. We've seen a lot of, like, especially we read about whenever, Diablo Immortal was coming out. Countries found out about how scummy the mechanics were, basically. How it was very, very, very much centered around the loot box mechanic. Pay to win. And so there were countries like the Netherlands and Belgium. It got banned. Then it prompted countries like Spain and some other ones, especially over there in Europe. They really started getting together and going, look, we got to start trying to figure out what we can do about preventing stuff like this from at least reaching younger audiences and stuff, Sony accused of blocking another hit on Xbox Game Pass. Millions of gamers subscribe to Game Pass, with some even relying on it as their primary place to play new releases. The subscription service's library is constantly changing, with new titles being added monthly. However, not every game makes it onto the Xbox Game Pass. For one, although more and more previously console-exclusive titles have made their way onto PC in recent years, PlayStation games end up on Steam, Epic Games Launcher, or Sony's competing subscription service, PlayStation Plus. So what about indie titles that belong to neither Sony nor Microsoft? Well, according to Microsoft, Sony has been indulging in some anti-Game Pass tactics over the years. The company has recently alleged that Sony has paid indie developers to keep their games off of Game Pass, thus keeping Sony at the top of the market. And according to recent reveal, Sony has continued this practice by blocking a newer indie hit from being included in Xbox's service. Cult of the Lamb developers allegedly paid off by Sony. Here we go. I really want to play this game. The topic of Xbox Game Pass arose during a recent episode of Kind of Funny Games podcast with host Blessing Adoy and writer and gaming industry insider Gary Whitta. Specifically, Adoy, I'm probably butchering that, brought up the speculation surrounding Death Stranding coming to Xbox Game Pass, with both sides expressing why they think it would be a big feat. Duo explained that the biggest reason for their hesitancy towards the news was due to the recent reports of Sony being keen on preventing developers from putting games on Game Pass. Whitta revealed that this practice is allegedly still going on, and that he was told the hit indie title, Cult of the Lamb, is another game where Sony paid to incentivize the developer to not do any additional subscriber deals with competing platforms. With PlayStation developing its own PC launcher and Xbox rumored to be adding huge titles like Elden Ring to Game Pass in the future, looks like the subscription service war is really just beginning. Gamers who are interested in what's next for the company should be on the lookout for an announcement from both parties at the upcoming 2022 Gamescom. Yeah. This is we keep hearing more and more on this. I mean, they're really going at each other. Sony and PlayStation have always been like rivals, right? That's not lost on anybody, right? But we've seen this kind of ramp up as of late. You know, you got Microsoft going in to buy Activision Blizzard, and then Sony counters with purchasing Bungie, and then we've got all this stuff coming about with Sony saying that trying to break up the what? What did I say? Did I say something wrong? I said Microsoft. Oh, Sony versus PlayStation. Microsoft versus Sony. My bad. Yeah, thanks, dude. Thanks, man. Not enough Java. Yeah, so Microsoft versus Sony, right? Or Xbox versus PlayStation. Apologies. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. So with all that going down, then you've got Sony trying to stop the acquisition of Microsoft taking on Activision Blizzard by saying that they have this unique title of Call of Duty. It would be an interesting fight, wouldn't it? Yeah. And saying that it shouldn't happen because it's such a unique title that it would completely sway. It's anti-competitive, basically, right? And so Sony's trying to break up that acquisition, and then so Microsoft counters by coming out and saying that there's nothing unique about it, even though we know there is. And now you've got this kind of stuff happening. PlayStation starts copying basically Game Pass with Sony, PlayStation's new subscription service, and now you've got this whole thing happening on this front. Man, they're really going at each other right now. I mean, they always kind of have, but it's becoming very, very public, very public. We'll see what happens. Marvel's Avengers confirms addition of fan favorite playable character. Marvel's Avengers developer Crystal Dynamics has today confirmed that the next playable character that will be coming to the live service game is one that a number of fans have been requesting for a long time. People are still playing this game. Is that true? Earlier this summer, Marvel's Avengers finally added Jane Foster to the roster of characters that could be used in the game. While some fans were upset to see that Foster was so similar to Thor, the next character coming to the game will be much more unique. Winter Soldier is going to be coming later in 2022. Rival of Winter Soldier, also known as Bucky Barnes, will come with patch 2.7, which currently doesn't have a launch date. At the time of this writing, Crystal Dynamics itself hasn't said much about the Winter Soldier, but it was explained that his fighting style will have some things in common with Captain America and Black Widow. Currently, Winter Soldier is still in the testing phase at Crystal Dynamics, which means we haven't been given a look just yet at how he'll play in the game. We can get a look at the first teaser image of Winter Soldier and Marvel's Avenger down below. Oh, Bucky. Beyond confirming the addition of Winter Soldier, Crystal Dynamics has also revealed that the game is in the midst of a pretty major revival. Thanks to the addition of Avengers to Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, a number of new players have recently been checking out the game. As such, Crystal Dynamics has said that the title will continue to receive new content in 2023 and beyond. So while the Winter Soldier might be the next character joining the game's roster, doesn't seem like he'll be the last. Okay. I thought the game was kind of dead, but maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to keep it alive. I don't know. We'll see. Next, Need for Speed sounds like Mario Kart. That's weird. A leaker has just revealed some gameplay details about the next Need for Speed game, and it sounds ridiculous. Seriously, it sounds like Mario Kart. Need for Speed gameplay details leaked online. Redditor Top Ramen Noodles took to the site last night to leak some info about Need for Speed, which they claim comes from an inside source. I got this from a buddy of mine who's an employee over at EA. Details corroborate previous leaks we've heard about this game, which suggests it's going to be super cartoony for a Need for Speed game. Happy Chef, dude. You know, we actually came across GameStop was selling that was selling Anthem for like next to nothing here recently. I mean, like very, very cheap. The thing that sucks, dude, is like that was a really cool concept, you know, and that's one of those notable games of recent gaming history where that had a lot of potential. That game had a lot of potential, and it just kind of didn't follow through on promise and fell short, and they just dropped it. You know, it's like one of those iconic people. I mean, you didn't even have to play Anthem to just know. Like if somebody says Anthem, you're like, yep, yep. When driving along, if you hit something like a lamppost and break it, it says bang on the screen. When you spin your tires or drift, instead of proper smoke, you'll get like a bit of smoke, barely any. Instead, some lines go in circles that mimic the direction of the rear tires. Out on the map, there are cars that can be stolen. Once taken, loads of cops out of nowhere. Straight away, you are in a high-heat chase. Cop, Corvettes, and SWAT vans, very brutal. Could have some sort of weird noise that taunts people when you pass them, like doing a roar. Sounds odd. Who wants that from a Need for Speed game? I guess no one is making Burnout games anymore, but still, seems as ridiculous as an idea as the recent squirrel-based GTA game. This is going to upset a lot of fans of the Need for Speed franchise. I can tell you that. There are still a good amount of people that love the Need for Speed games, and turning it into something like this is going to upset people. And, I mean, why am I not surprised that EA has decided to do this, right? I mean, EA. It's in the name. Hyena's gameplay leaks online. Gameplay for Hyena's, a new shooter from Sega and Alien Isolation developer Creative Assembly, has leaked online courtesy of someone who was invited to the game's private alpha. Ooh. In this day and age, it's pretty difficult to do any kind of external playtesting without something leaking. Either descriptions and impressions leak to press and insiders, or extensive amounts of footage hit the internet, revealing things the developer was hoping to keep under wraps and possibly showing the game in a negative light if it's not ready to be shown off. However, these kinds of things are necessary to help build out online games and understand what is working and what isn't. Unfortunately for Sega and Creative Assembly, their new game Hyenas had a ton of gameplay leaked online. The new gameplay showcases what players can expect from the new first-person shooter, albeit with some caveats. The footage is watermarked to the nines with the player's name and some other information, and it appears to have a rocky frame rate. It's unclear if this is a result of the game being an alpha or if the player's computer isn't quite up to snuff. Nevertheless, Hyenas looks a lot like other shooters on the market, with a heavy focus on different abilities and equipment akin to games like Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege. It doesn't necessarily play like those two, but the general loadouts of the characters certainly comes across like those two games. We can't watch it. In the game, 5 teams of 3 will go against AI to steal loot. One of the unique elements of the game is that it has 0G movement in some areas, allowing for interesting combat scenarios that aren't really found in other games. As of right now, it's unclear when Hyenas will get a larger showcase to the public. This leak may end up helping Sega get more players interested in the game. Interestingly enough, the footage was uploaded 3 days ago and still hasn't been taken down. Okay. Let's see if we can find this actually on YouTube. This is their official announcement trailer. Watch this real quick.
Peggy 18.
I like the art style. It's really cool.
I said stop playing with the merch and move.
Can't you see we're busy?
Yes, very busy, darling.
Cool. Okay. The art style looks neat. But, I mean, I don't think we really saw any gameplay, right? It was just, like, kind of cinematic trailer stuff. This looks like it's no longer there. Starfield is going to Gamescom, but not with new gameplay. Yeah. Starfield subreddit was briefly abuzz over a news post that claimed fans could see Redfall and Starfield gameplay at the Bethesda fan get-together on August 26th. By the time our colleagues at TechRadar got to the post, it had been updated to clarify, come see a replay of the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase gameplay presentations for Redfall and Starfield. Now Bethesda appears to have updated the news post again to remove any mention of Starfield being at the fan meetup at all. So there goes that theory. Starfield will be at Gamescom as part of Bethesda's booth. But we aren't expecting anything new. Well, there you go. Not really great news, sorry. Last article I have, guys. So, you got anything that you might have become aware of that you want to add to the segment that I can address before we move forward into our Witcher Day 36? That's what I said this morning, right? Day 36? Guys, I'm losing track, man. Yeah, Day 36. Day 36 of Witcher. Then, Witcher 3. Let me know in chat. I'll address it before we move forward, okay? Netflix is seemingly looking to make cloud gaming part of the service. Netflix appears to be looking into online streaming for games. According to Protocol, Netflix is looking to expand its games offerings with a focus on cloud gaming, as several recent job adverts have listed cloud gaming experience as a requirement. Notably, a job listing for a rendering engineer spells out Netflix's interest in cloud gaming. In this role, you will help optimize the rendering of games so we can render multiple games on our cloud gaming appliances, it reads. You will also assist with the development of SDKs to enable game developers to succeed in writing high-quality games for the Netflix cloud games ecosystem. There you have it, the Netflix cloud games ecosystem. Of course, Netflix is notionally in a good position to offer cloud-based gaming with years of online streaming expertise, making cloud-based anything an obvious choice. However, to date, Netflix has dabbled with games, currently offering a small selection of mobile games as the company's sole gaming output. The majority of those were acquired from other studios, but Netflix's Stranger Things games does stand out as a neat example of what they can offer internally. Yeah. Company is hoping to expand its catalog by the end of the year to make 50 games available on the Netflix service. That doesn't include its apparent first steps into cloud gaming. Other job listings include a security product manager that should have experience with cloud gaming challenges, threat vectors, infrastructure, and client requirements. There are also a bunch of other job listings asking for experience building games for early or unfinished platforms. Netflix cloud gaming certainly fits the bill on that front. Quite when we'll see their efforts emerge is another thing entirely. Netflix is yet to officially announce a cloud gaming platform, and if they're currently recruiting, it looks as though any early builds are still a long way off. Still, it's an enticing concept if Netflix can secure enough big titles to raise interest. Okay. I don't know that I have hit on that. See if I can find anything. Check that out. Hey, thanks, Bean. Thanks, buddy. Dude, the gaming industry. So from Kotaku, even though this isn't on Kotaku, which I love Kotaku's site, Nintendo of America's female testers faced a frat house environment including sexual harassment. This is from 2 days ago. Yeah, this didn't come up for us. The workplace environment at Nintendo of America has recently been getting a lot of flack, mainly due to the company's attempts to keep employees from unionizing. Unfortunately, Kotaku has released a report that it's not just union busting the Nintendo of America has allegedly been doing. This time it relates to the company's game testers. Although these game testers were contracted through Aerotech, which was later reorganized into Aston Carter, they did their work at Nintendo of America's headquarters and interacted with Nintendo's full-time employees. According to Kotaku, Nintendo's careers page indicated that roughly 25% of the roles it advertised for in its North American headquarters were on a contract basis. Unfortunately, multiple female game testers say that certain employees at Nintendo of America, including full-time employees that are not contracted by a third party in any way, had sexually harassed them in various ways. Complaints include stalking, unwanted and inappropriate comments, as well as inappropriate advances. Although not everyone accused of this behavior are named, Nintendo of America Product Testing Department head Melvin Forrest and Nintendo of America product tester Eric Bush are both directly mentioned as being among the people that were involved in this behavior. Some of the employees not named also include full-time Nintendo workers and fellow Aerotech contractors. According to a game tester, one unnamed Nintendo of America employee, quote, was constantly making really gross jokes and comments, but he was the friend of everybody there. There are also allegations of sexism, with women game testers experiencing lower odds of being brought in to Nintendo of America as a full-time employee compared to men. Women are also not given career advancements. One game tester even noted that after working at Nintendo for 9 years, she found out a more junior male contractor in her testing department was making $19 an hour while she was making $16. Kotaku also says that one woman said she stayed at the same base wage for 6 years until she got a higher offer elsewhere and threatened to leave. Another woman was offered double her current pay when at a different company. One female game tester also complains about there being favoritism and cronism. Let me just bring something up real quick though, okay? One game tester noted that after working at Nintendo for 9 years, she found out a more junior male contractor. Her testing department was making $19 an hour while she was making $16. This doesn't necessarily tell the entire story here, potentially, all right? There is something to be said for an individual working for themselves to try to get a better wage, right? If you are actually showing that you're a good worker and you prove that you are an asset in doing what you do, it gives you, Miss Bat, exactly. It gives you leverage to go in and be like, I need a raise, you know? And the thing is, just because you go in and say that you need a raise or whatever, doesn't mean you're going to get it. But if you're never pushing for that opportunity, you're definitely never going to get it, right? So, pay gap is a problem. I agree. Yes. I mean, it's a known thing, right? I'm just trying to bring up the point that a lot of people are not comfortable addressing this for themselves, whether it be a male or a female, outside of gender-based scenarios, right? People are uncomfortable addressing quite often, advocating for themselves to get a higher wage, whether it be at the, outset of them being hired into a position or later on in that career, right? So this statement right here is potentially just not telling the entire scenario, maybe, right? That's exactly, Miss Bat. It makes people very nervous. And this is what I'll say. If you know you're a good worker, if you see yourself as somebody that is absolutely reliable and you're very good at what you do, you should have the confidence in yourself to go talk to your management about that, right? And pursue that. Absolutely. I truly believe that. Now, I am not saying that this is the scenario, but what this comes off as saying is that this individual just found out somebody was making more money than her. There could be some other variables that go into this situation. It is not necessarily just a gender-based scenario, okay? So, the way it's written is to make you feel like that's what it is, okay? But it isn't necessarily maybe telling the entire story. It could be. It also could not be, right? So we need to keep an open mind about what might be happening here. One female game tester also complains about there being favoritism and cronism. Unfortunately, lesbian game testers received an extra layer of poor treatment. And look, you guys know how I feel about stuff. My addressing of the world, and it's the way I run this community too. It's about being inclusive. Everybody's equal, dude. You know what I mean? As long as you're a good person, So I'm not trying to demean or say that this is a situation where it's potentially not a situation where the individual was making more money because it was a male. It quite possibly could be. Unfortunately, lesbian game testers received an extra layer of poor treatment. The complaints include inappropriate comments and Miss Bat, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you. And inappropriate advances even after being told about the victim's sexuality. A lesbian game tester mentions that during break, she and a fellow female tester she was dating would hold hands. She says an Aerotech supervisor called them into the contracting office and admonished the pair for violating the agency's no-touching policy, which was rarely enforced for straight couples displaying affection in the office. Ooh. This frat house environment, which a former game tester that worked on Zelda Breath of the Wild described it as, wasn't a brief thing either. This behavior is reported from various game testers as early as 2009 and as recently as 2020. Nintendo leadership was even sent a letter just this past February by a dozen game testers from Lot Check, which conducts the final checks for how games performed on Nintendo's consoles, requesting Nintendo leadership improve the testers' working conditions, calling the department an unsafe and uncomfortable environment for female testers. Unfortunately, not only did both Nintendo of America and Aerotech do very little to put a stop to the behavior, if they did anything at all. But it was risky to even report the poor behavior at all because, as one game tester explained, we didn't say anything because if you did, you were called overly sensitive. The victim of stalking says that the stalker threatened to get them fired if they reported this behavior. Another game tester said that people who would make her feel uncomfortable also, quote, asked me not to go to HR about it because I'd be misinterpreting, making me feel guilty about my own discomfort. As for the present, it is unknown. A current game tester via Kotaku says that, quote, the HR in the building where most of Nintendo's full-time staff work is actively trying to spearhead diversity and inclusion within Nintendo of America. She also acknowledged that each of the different buildings associated with Nintendo's Redmond campus are a little microcosm. There aren't as many chances to meet people from other parts of the company. Kotaku reached out to Nintendo, Aerotech, and Aston Carter representatives about all this, but never got any replies. Not surprising there. They are trying, I'm sure, to keep a lid on all of this as much as possible. Yo, Bean, thank you. All good in the Batcave? Nice. Good, I'm glad. Bean, thanks, man. No, I hadn't heard of this. I hadn't heard about this. That's unfortunate. It's wild to me. I mean, especially, look, I don't think it's lost. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. I mean, more and more companies, bad culture, I think that has pervaded these major companies, that has persisted for years and years and years, is finally coming to light, right? I think that's the main thing to take away here. I think one of the things to note is there is absolutely unacceptable behavior within the workplace, right? There's no doubt about it. From my own point of view, here's the way it is, right? Especially in today's day and age, people are overly sensitive as well, right? We've talked about this quite often. People will take things that aren't even meant to be directed at them or meant to be, derogatory or anything like that, and they will turn it around and turn it into something crazy. And it seems like today, it seems like people are looking for any reason that they can take anything and turn it into some form of drama. You know what I mean? Like turn it into something about them. And, I don't know. It just seems like people don't have very thick skin anymore like they used to. It's very hard to joke about stuff without people kind of losing their crap about anything. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, agreed. Don't get me wrong. There are absolutely certain subjects that shouldn't be joked about, and there are absolutely, there's a time and a place for certain things to happen, and quite often in the workplace, it should be a professional kind of situation in most settings, right? And there's a lot of subject matter that maybe, and I think that's where it gets very clouded for some people, because quite often you end up creating these kinds of relationships at work with people where it becomes relaxed and comfortable, much as it does with your friends outside of work. So you tend to kind of cross lines there in your career sometimes, probably. And but I would say my advice to most people is to just, if you're in your workplace, to save yourself any grief in the future, stay as professional as possible. If something creeps up in your head that you're like, oh, that'd be funny, I should say that, think twice about it before it pops out of your mouth or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, absolutely, Miss Bat. Yeah, and I'm not trying. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's why I'm not trying to say that, like, especially the stuff we just read, I'm not trying to belittle and say that that's probably not happening there or anything like that. I think it's a mix of all of it. I think there is absolutely a lot of stuff that goes on, that gets said, that happens to people within workplaces that is unacceptable. Absolutely. And unfortunately, it doesn't get reported quite often because, just as you stated, people are afraid to bring it up. And that sucks. While at the same time, I've dealt with people in the workplace that were always looking for anything to to stir the pot. You know what I mean? It's like just constant, like, you know what I mean? It's a very hard thing to discern sometimes. And that's why my advice is always to just keep it professional. Get outside of work. If you're hanging out with coworkers outside of work, that means that you're hanging out in a social situation that is not in the workplace anymore. And I mean, those people have decided to hang out with you outside of the workplace, right? So at that point, it's, you know, no longer a workplace situation. And if something happens that's uncomfortable, it can just be like, yo, we don't need to hang out anymore or whatever, you know? That's my advice. If you're in the workplace, be professional. Save yourself any kind of grief. Just not everybody has the same kind of sense of humor. Not everybody's going to see perceive what you're trying to come across as the same way, right? There's a lot of things that can get twisted about stuff like that. So I would just say that's my best advice. That's the way I always try to handle myself in the workplace as well. Was like, I'm just gonna be as professional as possible. And it's hard whenever other people around you don't act the same way. But this is not good for Nintendo. It sounds like there have been some pretty unprofessional things happening within that organization, Nintendo of America anyways. Some quite toxic situations going on that people have had to deal with. And it's unfortunately sounds much along the same lines of some of these other major developers, Blizzard, Activision, you know, places like that we've heard of, you know, same kind of situation. So I'm guessing now that especially someplace like Kotaku, who's gotten a hold of information, it's been put out there for everybody to read. It's going to be, they're going to be investigated. They're going to be investigated. It's going to come out. We're going to keep getting information about it. And we'll keep diving into it. So, Bean, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. And again, look, I'm not trying to be insensitive about the situation. I'm just trying to get a nice, comprehensive view about what could and could not be happening in this situation, right? I'm not trying to demean or belittle what is probably actually going on within this organization. I just always try to get a nice look at different points of view of what could and could not be happening, you know what I mean? In regards to all kinds of different things that we come across. So please understand that. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Guys, that's all I've got. You guys rock. Thank you very much. Nice long news segment for today, but it was a good one. It was a good one. As always, I love them. We're going to move on to day 36 of Witcher 3. We're pushing DLC content today. We got just a little bit of DLC content done yesterday, but we're going to really push into it today. So, I don't know. That's where we're headed. If you guys are viewing this as a VOD on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and all the other amazing people that are part of this community. When we go live at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day, and we start all of our streams off with video gaming news, okay? Also, consider hitting that like and subscribe button for me if you are enjoying the content. And other than that, we'll just catch everybody tomorrow for August 20th edition of Video Gaming News. Stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, okay, guys?